He actually said in terms of royalties. Question, and you communicated with Malian Record, you didn't get any response? Answer, yes. Dr. Wahab Shitusan, no more questions for the witness. The court. What do you mean by royalties? Answer, royalties are money made from sales of music digitally. Dr. Wahab Shitusan, from what Naira Marley told the court, he said he contracted on the basis of 4 albums and that he didn't do up to those 4 albums. Will you say in the circumstances there was no dispute? Answer, from what Mohbad said to me, which I believe, there was no agreement. So I can't take there was 4 albums to be delivered. Question, from what Mohbad told you as it stands, there was a dispute? Answer, yes, there was. Cross-examination by OSC Aromolaran. Question, you know very well. Answer, I know him to an extent. Question, do you know him to an extent or very well? Answer, I know him to the extent I could professionally. Question, while you were putting up your evidence before the court, you mentioned you met them at, hey, sorry, this grammar is bad. You met them at them police after he died. Answer, no, I met them at home and I insisted that a report has to be taken at the nearest police station. So I engineered them at the police station. Question, at that time, the nurse was still available? Answer, yes, the nurse was available. Question, what will you say that the nurse mentioned that you are the one that the first was? Sorry. Question, what will you say that the nurse mentioned that you are the one that the first hospital where he died handed over the medical cause of death? Answer, I arrived at the house at 9:30, 10 p.m. I understood they had not been to the police station. We proceeded to the police station and then we found out that the family intended to bury him. They had called an ambulance. If I recall, speaking with the dad, after we left the police station, we came back to the house and I asked what documents they had to give to the ambulance. So I asked them what hospital they went to first. We went there. They refused to give medical reports to it. But I said to them, even if it is a handwritten note, give. So they could give the ambulance, so they could transport the body. I'll repeat this again. I arrived the house about 9:30, 10 p.m. I understand that they had not been to the police station. We proceeded to the police station and then when we found out that the family intended to bury him, they had called an ambulance. If I recall, speaking with the dad, after we left the police station, we came back to the house and I asked what documents they had to give to the ambulance. So I asked them what hospital they went to first. We went there. They refused to give medical reports to it. But I said to them, even if it is a handwritten note, give. So they could give the ambulance, so they could transport the body. Question, was it given? Answer, yes, a handwritten note was given and it was handed over. Again, I'll repeat it again. I don't mind reading it 2 or 3 months. I'll reading it again. I arrived at the house at 9:30 to 10 p.m. I understood that they had not been to the police station. We proceeded to the police station and then we found out that the family intended to bury him. They had called an ambulance. If I recall, speaking with the dad, after we left the police station, we came back to the house and I asked what documents they had to give to the ambulance. So I asked them what hospital they went to first. We went there. They refused to give medical reports to it. But I said to them, even if it is a handwritten note, give. So they could give the ambulance, so they could transport the body. Question, was it given? Yes. Answer, yes. A handwritten note was given and it was handed over. Question, what was written on that document? Answer, to be honest, it was just about his time of death and cause of death. It was handed over to Darosha to give to the ambulance. Question: as his lawyer, who could understand content of documents, say to the court what was written on that document, since you are the one who suggested to them, and you suggested to the point that even if it is handwritten something, that they should write it. Whether they had written to implicate your client or they had written something bad, did you make steps to see the documents? Answer: that was why I said specifically, it spoke about time he arrived at the hospital. Question: witness, let's be specific. You are the one who suggested to them to write a note. That note, you are duty bound as a lawyer to look at the content of that document because you are his lawyer. You are the one who suggested that they should write. So whatever they had written may have implication on the driver and you would be called upon. What did they write on that note? Answer: they wrote the time he was brought to the hospital, the time they confirmed his death, and the reason they put unknown. They were the things on the deceased. Question: the reason for his death unknown? Answer: yes. Question: what steps did you take about giving legal advice to the cause of death and the moment he died? Answer: I can't give legal advice as to cause of death. Question: as to what steps to take? Answer: I said we went to the police station and the family insisted that they wanted to bury. The police insisted that if this was going to be done, they needed to conduct an autopsy. And the family's stance was they wanted to bury. As his lawyer, I had no authority. His family had authority. Again, I'll read it. There is a reason why we are reading this today. Question: what steps did you take about giving legal advice as to the cause of death and the moment he died? Answer: please, guys, let's power tap. I will be reading how it is there. Please, I don't want to be using pie. Please, let's continue to power tap. I'll read it again. What steps did you take about giving legal advice as to the cause of death and the moment he died? Answer: I can't give legal advice as to the cause of death. Question: as to what steps to take? Answer: I said we went to the police station and the family insisted that they wanted to bury. The police insisted that if this was going to be done, they needed to conduct an autopsy. And the family stance was they wanted bury. As his lawyer, I had no authority. His family had authority. Question: you mentioned issues concerning your relationship from November 2022 till Mohbad died. Can you confirm to the court whether there was any time you discussed the issue of violence against him or threat to his life at different points in time? Did he mention that to you at any point in time? Answer: I had stated when asked Leonard Silk that there was an incident of the beach sometime in June, and he made a petition against the person that attacked him at the police station. The petition is something you can see online. It's been viral since his demise. Question: did he make formal complaint to the police? Answer: that was a formal complaint. Question: how did it come to you when the last witness was denying all this that we are talking about? Answer: they are talking about Naira Marley here. Answer: the person who he said attacked him was different from the last person who spoke. So he made a complaint against the person who attacked him. The court: who was the person? Answer: I tried to get his legal name. I don't think Sam Larry is his legal name, but Sam Larry is the person he said attacked him. Question: the attack on Mohbad, how heavy will you describe it to the extent that it could be part of his reason for his death? Answer: the best I will be able to establish that is a medical expert. Question: he complained to you about violence against him, threat to his life, having taken steps professionally to write a petition to the police concerning threat to his life. What were the issues disclosed to you which made you come to the conclusion that there was threat to his life before you put up formal complaint to the police? Answer. Specifically, between the time I and Mohbad worked, he informed me of just that attack, and once he informed me of it, I don't know if there were attacks that took place prior and if there were reports made regarding those attacks. But with respect to what he informed me about, he made a report to that extent. OSA Aram. Let's start from the definition of threat to life. For someone to allege threat to life, steps may have been taken by making attempts to terminate his life, or certain things may have been sent to him, whether by close range or threatening to kill him, or messages were sent to him as to things capable of causing his spy in dying so soon, nearest to the time of that allegation. Question. What were the activities surrounding his state of life at that moment, warranting you to think that there is a threat to his life? What were those things he disclosed to you that was going on between him and Sam Larry? Like you said, that you know this will lead to his death if steps were not taken. Answer. To answer your question directly, there was an incident. I didn't specifically mention threat to life. I said he said there was altercation where he was attacked while shooting a video, and due to this, I instructed him to go meet a particular person at the FCID where he made the petition, and I said to him, be very clear as to what had transpired. Question. Did he mention to you that he was specific to the police? Answer. I was not in jurisdiction. Question. When you came back, what were those things that he disclosed to you that did this English that did were the specific things that he did to me and that he disclosed to the police? Answer. He was attacked physically, and that was what he disclosed to the police. Question. That he was attacked physically? Answer. Yes. Question. At what point was he attacked physically? Answer. At the beach in June. Question. And who were the people that he alleged to have attacked him? Answer. Specifically Sam Larry. Question. Only Sam Larry? Answer. That was the specific name. There were other names, but they always used their aliases, so I can't recall all aliases. Question. In that allegation, was there any nexus between Sam Larry and Naira Marley in this allegation? Answer. Not specifically. Question. But you said he mentioned more than Sam Larry. Answer. He mentioned the physical people who were there, and if I am to be clear, I'm not sure if Naira Marley was present at that scene. Question. When you came back from out of jurisdiction, what step did you take to assist him? Answer. I understand that the police invited the accused person, that is Sam Larry, several times. They attempted to arrest him a couple of times and he couldn't be found. I know they made 2 attempts to arrest him, specifically at his address. Question. You are in court when the last witness was before the court. Answer. Yes, I was. Question. How did it come to you when he mentioned that there was no dispute, and from what your client told you, there was dispute before he left the record label? How did it come to you, and what have you to say to that? Answer. Specifically, the last witness was technical in the way he responded to the questions. He was speaking about his personal capacity and said there was no direct dispute between himself. But what I understand, Mohbad had a dispute with his label, and the alter ego of the label is the last witness. Question. You remember a counsel asked him a question that his company, and he said there was no company. So there is no difference between him and his business. So he said there was no company. How did he come to you as a lawyer when he was denying almost everything that was put to him to unravel the necessity of what we intend to have here? Answer. I'll be very specific to say that the incident around Mohbad was being said for has been sad for me personally, because there were several things said about him on social media, whether with the use of drugs. From my conversation with him, he did not come across as that person. He had mentioned to me that in the past he had, but at the time we were working, I wouldn't say I saw him as that person. He was largely sane. So when I hear people say he was on drugs or he was not mentally stable, it is disheartening to hear. Question. Was your client the kind of person that was 24 hours every day under intoxication? Answer. Of course not. Question. And it goes about every day intoxicating. How do you say to it? Answer. Like I said, it is very disheartening. I won't say my client doesn't, but I mean, the space he is in. Once in a while, they indulge in what they indulge in. To insinuate that somebody who made several accusations and you say every time he was intoxicated, I think it is quite demeaning of his person. Question. Each time questions came to him, that there was a video where he alleged that if he dies, Naira should be held responsible. And every time such question came to him, he was specifically mentioning that he may not be in the right frame of mind. What do you have to say to this? Answer. I'll speak to this as a reasonable person because at the time he made those videos, that were not within our time of engagement. Like I said, it is demeaning to Mohbad as a person to say that every time he made the videos, he was not within his right senses. This is someone who went on to make music, released music, performed music, had contracts which he performed his obligation. I don't know how they would say that person was not on his right state of mind, in his right state of mind. OSA Romularo. I want us to look at this. I think about four things happened on the last day that Mohbad was set to exit from this world. The first was that he sustained injury in his hand. Fourth, he died. There are two things between the injury and the death. That he had a swollen hand, that a nurse came to treat him, and he died. Question. If you look at these four things as his counsel, if you have to suggest which direction will you ask the court may have led to his death? Answer. Given that I'm not an expert, but speaking to the incidents, it has to be looked at holistically, not from the angle of one side or the other side. OSA let's narrow it. Answer. I can't decide that, unfortunately. Question. I know that you are not an expert. Which of the two would have suggested that let us narrow this? Answer. I think the only way you can reach that is by speaking with people who were there, who saw him, and in what state. I can't speak to that because unfortunately I didn't have to examine him or to meet him during that duration or period. So I can't say look more to this side or ignore this side. You have to look at it holistically. OSA Ramalaran, you will remember that your client is no more, and you will agree with me that everyone, particularly in this sitting, is interested in the cause of death of late Mohbad. What advice will you have for the court as to unravel the cause of death of Mohbad? Answer. I have been for a couple of sittings, and I must commend your lordship for the fantastic job done so far by leaving no stone unturned. Questioning everybody that needs to be questioned is very important surrounding his demise, an event that took place on the fateful day. I think that is the way to go. Discovery, asking the questions that need to be asked. Everything that led to his death, I think that is the way to go to arrive at the right decision. Guys, please let's part up. Question. With all the number of people that have been invited and all the people that are still going to be invited, is there anyone in particular that you would suggest should still be brought to the court for questioning? Answer. I understand the nurse has been brought. Certain incidents took place in the vehicle. So I would have said probably the driver of the vehicle would be a key witness, and any other person who in and around him. OSO Aromalaro, as his lawyer, who can you suggest to the court? Invite this fellow. Maybe we can get more information. I like the one you mentioned about the driver. Answer. If I could be very specific, there was this incident, and from what I know, every other person, his brother, his wife, everyone that have been invited. So that is the only person I wasn't sure who has been invited, and I think that is the person to clear up anything that took place. If the driver has not been there, probably the driver of the vehicle that they said conveyed him and back, who will probably clear up some of the. Oh, yes, sir, I'm not, my lord. That will be all for the witness. Cross-examination by Abiodun Kolawole. Question. Can you tell the court the very date Mohbad engaged you? Answer. Well, specifically 28th of November 2022. He approached me. He said he wanted to set up his imprint, and by imprint, I think his own label, which we registered, which is Immolenization Limited. When he briefed me, we drew up a retainership for me, handing his career in the entertainment space. Question. What does Immolenization connote to you, and what formed the rationale behind it? Answer. When he said he wanted to court register his record label, he was very particular about the vision he had, and it was Immolenization. He says Imole on his songs, which means light in Yoruba. So Imole and Nization coined together. Question. From the little time you know Imole, can you please tell this court, how can you describe his personality, his health status, and his relationship with people? Answer. Mohbad appeared healthy to me throughout the course of our relationship. I would say he was very talented, super talented. I remember him trying to select songs on his last EP before he passed, and it was headache picking from the numerous exceptional songs he had made. So super talented. He appeared well behaved, well, super talented, very respectful. He had his flaws. His relationship with friends, good. His relationship with his business, sometimes good, sometimes not good. Question. During the short time of your coexistence, did they engage to monitor his music career alone, or did he engage you to do some certain things in relation to his family affairs? Answer. Our relationship was strictly in respect to his business. Question. Was there any point in time that did Mohbad ask you to prepare a will? Guys, please let's start part up. Question. Was there any point in time did Mohbad ask you to prepare a will? Answer. He never told me to prepare a will. Question. Are you aware of any will in existence? Answer. I am not aware of any will. Question. As a lawyer to late Mohbad, was there any confidential matters that if I can't discuss with my parents as a lawyer, let me discuss with you, then show me the way. Can you please tell the court? Answer. We had conversations. Mohbad was one who spoke to me, and I wouldn't say there was anything he didn't want to disclose to his parents that he said to me. Like I said, he had a flawed past, but from our interaction, he was working towards becoming a better person. Question. It would be correct to say he never engaged you regarding family issue, like preparing of documents regarding land matters. Answer. No, he didn't. Question. When he complained of his threat to you, did you bother to ask him whether he has ever reported to any police station around his vicinity? Answer. Like I said, when he informed me over the phone, I said, go to the police station. Again, he expressed some concerns, and I don't know if that was due to previous reports where he said they won't take it seriously. Question. What are the concerns he expressed to you? Answer. That they won't take his report so seriously at the local station close by because I think that was within the vicinity it happened. I said, I will give you a contact. If you are so scared or concerned about the local station, go to the first CID that is not close enough to this place where you are worried about and lay a complaint there. Question. That first CID, can you confirm to discuss whether there was any petition written by the deceased? Answer. I understand he wrote a petition, and I understand that the police made at least 2 attempts that I'm very aware of to arrest the person that he made the petition against. Question. You said the last day of the deceased when he died, you said you walked into the house at about 10 p.m. Can you confirm to the court that you never went to the hospital with them? Answer. I didn't. Question. At what point in time did you get the written document written to the ambulance? Answer. It was about 11 p.m. Again. Question. At what point in time did you get that written document written to the ambulance? Answer. It was about 11 p.m. Question. Who issued that document? Answer. The first hospital. Again. Question. At what point in time did you get that written document written to the ambulance? Answer. It was about 11 p.m. Question. Who issued that document? Answer. The first hospital. Question. It was upon your request that was when they gave you that document? Answer. Yes. Question. Prior to his death, you were never present throughout the taking round to the hospital? Answer. I was never present. Question. You only time you can recall as his lawyer was in the night in his house? Answer. Not in affirmation. Question. You requested that a written note be given. What formed that basis of that note? Answer. They had informed me that this was the hospital that he was taken to after we left the police station. Question. Who informed you? Answer. The nurse was present. Her lawyer was present. Her mother was present. Again, who informed you? Answer. The nurse was present. Her lawyer was present. Her mother was present. Question. Will you be surprised to hear that the written note you said, a witness has been here to inform that the court that death certificate was issued? Answer. Death certificate is not issued by hospital. Death certificate is issued by National Population Council. I'll read that again. Question. Who informed you? Answer. The nurse was present. Her lawyer was present. Her mother was present. Question. Will you be surprised to hear that the written note you said, a witness has been here to inform the court that death certificate was issued? Answer. Death certificate is not issued by hospital. Death certificate is issued by National Population Council. Question. You informed this court that during the course of your relationship with Mohbad, you wrote a letter to the Malian record. Do you have the acknowledgement copy of that letter? Answer. We sent an email. Question. Can you please confirm to this court your relationship with the deceased till his last breath? Answer. I was the lawyer to the deceased between November 28, 2022 up until his demise. Question. I remember you informed this court that suggested the late deceased should make a formal petition to FCID. Did you do a follow-up with the police, or has there been any time he informed you because somebody said that he made a withdrawal of that petition? Can you please confirm to the court? Answer. I'll be very clear to say prior of his demise, he never withdrew the petition. And I said earlier that the police made 2 attempts to arrest the person accused in the petition. Abiodun Kolawole, between you and me, I know you are in the entertainment unlike some of us deal with criminal. The Nigerian police that you know, when they extend an invitation to you and you shut down the invitation or fail to honor the invitation, they go through the route of arresting the person. As a counsel to the deceased, with the attitude of the Nigerian police, what will be your advice to this court? Answer. I'm not sure I am in the capacity to advise the court on the attitude of the Nigerian police. From what I was made aware of, the police in that instance made attempts, and I wouldn't fault their attempt to. The court, please speak up. Answer. Specifically, I will say, as far as I am aware, the police made 2 attempts on different occasions to arrest the person, and within that period, Mohbad had to leave the country to go on tour. It was within June until his return. I think they made the attempt before he traveled. I'm not aware that he withdrew any petition. As far as I know, they made specific attempt to arrest. I can't necessarily fault the police if they make attempt to arrest and they are unable to see the suspect twice. In addition to that, I will say probably to get a clearer picture on that, the video that surfaced after his demise actually surfaced after his demise, meaning someone released because we didn't have that sort of hard evidence. It was his word against theirs at that moment. So maybe those who were there at the shoot had videos of it because we didn't have hard evidence at that time. Question. As a lawyer to the deceased, what should be your parting words to this court? Answer. Well, the coroner is set up to find the reason and the cause of the death of the deceased. It is sad that he's gone. I wish the coroner the best from the petition written to the FCID. Was there any picture to that effect? Maybe where he was beaten? Answer. I just mentioned we didn't have hard evidence, and I said the video that surfaced online surfaced after his demise, meaning those who were around him may have made videos but didn't possess the video. Question. Did he show you injuries? Answer. Yes, there was scars. Question. That is sustained where? Answer. Answer. At the incident at the beach, which he made a report to. Abiodun Kolawole, that will be all for the witness. Cross-examination by M.A. Salahuddin. Question. As a young artist, they do have this clique. Has he mentioned about his clique outside Malian, maybe names or his friends? Answer. I won't say he mentioned because he won't sit to discuss that specifically. Definitely, I see other young guys around him. Question: did he mention anyone named Ayobami Sodiq spending? Answer: I wouldn't say he has mentioned. I see them around him. Aside his PA or specific people who I know, I need to reach due to the course of my duty. Question: and he never complained about Ayobami Sodiq? Answer: no, he never made. Question: you said to their house the night the deceased passed. Did you meet anybody named Ayobami Sodiq? Answer: specifically, I didn't meet. There were hundreds of people there by the time I got there, so I can't specifically identify everybody there, but I do not think I met him there. Question: can you say anything about Ayobami Sodiq? Answer: no, I can't. M.A. Salaudin, my lord, that will be all. The court: I will just take 3 questions from the audience. Cross-examination by members of audience. Question: can you tell the court, when you went to Mohbad's house, did you see his father? Answer: yes. When I arrived at his house, there were hundreds of people, like I said, and his dad was outside. And that was when I was introduced to his dad. I have never met his dad before that day. Question: did Mohbad, your client, always sign or
23
append
people
his
who've got into
fingerprint on
difficult.
any documents? Answer: he signs documents. Question: are you aware that he will properties? Answer: there was no will that I am aware of. There was no will as far as I am concerned. Question: witness, as a lawyer, you meet your client's lifeless body and you are aware that there was a nurse who injected him and you are aware that he reacted to the injection. You, as a lawyer, what step did you take that night to that nurse? Answer: as soon as I got to the scene, we went to the police station with the nurse, her lawyer, and her mother. So I have been very clear as to that. Question: did you leave the nurse at the police station? Answer: I am not a police. I cannot arrest. Question: have you taken any step that it didn't? Answer: so I have done the right thing. I have taken her to the police station. So that is the job of the police from there on. Question: in the public domain, we heard that Mohbad wrote a will and he thumbprinted it and willed all his property for his son. When you heard it, did you take any step to counter it that it didn't happen? Answer: I specifically wrote a letter to that effect, stating specifically I never communicated the existence of any will and I said I'm unaware of the existence of any will. Question: at what time did you go to the hospital? Answer: we went to the hospital after we had gone to the police station. I will roughly put it around 10:30, 11 p.m. Question: and a written note was given? Answer: yes. Question: the nurse was here to say that when they took him there and it was confirmed, a doctor's statement was issued. She told this court that 2 documents emanated from the hospital, one to DJ Bami and the other to Darusha. When you noticed all that happened to your client and someone made the call to the house and they said they wanted to bury, as a lawyer, who I believe is more knowledgeable than everyone present, why not advise the family on the right step to take and you allow them to take the body away from the house? Answer: I specifically pleaded. The father of the deceased is here. I pleaded with him for them not to bury him hurriedly. I specifically pleaded with the father of the deceased. I also have a text from him 2 days after saying I was bereaved and I was not thinking. He said to me specifically, what is spelt is spelt. He said it to me in Yoruba language. I'll read it again. I specifically pleaded. The father of the deceased is here. I pleaded with him for them not to bury him hurriedly. I specifically pleaded with the father of the deceased. I also have a text from him 2 days after saying he was bereaved and he was not thinking. He said to me specifically, what is spelled is spelled. He said to me in Yoruba language, nǹkan tó bàjẹ́ ti bàjẹ́. Question: On the petition that was written, when you got in touch with late Mohbad, did you try to ensure that the petition was duly treated? Because later, after the demise, the father tried to see what happened to the petition, and he was told that the late Mohbad never showed up. Answer: specifically, he made the petition before he traveled. I was made aware they made 2 attempts to arrest the person he made petition against. I was never made aware that there was any counter petition and that they had invited him back. Again, he was out of the country during that period. That might explain why he didn't show up, not because he didn't want to show up. Question: and you never advised him? Answer: specifically, our retainer was in respect to areas of entertainment. I am not a specialist in criminal. Question: on entertainment, when the first witness was giving his testimony, he said there was no issue between him and the late Mohbad, and you know quite well that there were several issues. Why not put it before the Honorable Court that he was wrong? Answer: like I said, the witness answered technically. He said himself and Mohbad never personally had any dispute. He didn't say his label and Mohbad never had any dispute. Question: Mr. Falade, you said you got the information from Seun Olarewaju. Can you please tell who is Seun Olarewaju? Answer: Seun Olarewaju is a friend to Mohbad. Question: is he a staff? Answer: I won't say he's a staff. This is the entertainment space. Different people get bookings and they might call to say there is this booking they got for this person. He saw it online and he had tried to reach his PA Darusha to confirm and he couldn't confirm. And then he said he was heading to his house, to the house. This was roughly around about 8 p.m. It was all over the social media. We saw a video of a boy holding him in the car. That was what he had seen. Question: Mr. Joseph Aloba, by his constant testament, said he had got into his son's apartment and met several people, among whom you are. Now, by your statement, you said by 11. Answer: I didn't say by 11. I said 9:30 p.m. Question: when you mentioned you went to police or doctor, you mentioned 11. Now, I want to ask you because I heard it twice that they said they want to bury him that night. Will it be at Lekki or where? Secondly, when the man got there, by his testimony, he said he took the body to the police station. Were you there? Answer: no, I wasn't. Question: at what point did you terminate your visit? Answer: when they left with the body in the ambulance, his father was with them. Darusha, I think they were going to Ikorodu. I'm not so sure. Question: that was the same man that insisted that they were going to bury his son that night? Answer: he was going to bury him immediately. Again, answer. Question: at what point did you terminate your visit? Answer: when they left with the body in the ambulance, his father was with them. Darusha, I think they were going to Ikorodu. I'm not so sure. Question: that was the same man that insisted that they were going to bury his son that night? Answer: he was going to bury him immediately. Question: he said that to you that they were going to bury that night? Answer: he was going to be buried immediately. Question: when you walked into the house where Mohbad died, did you see anything like blood? What did you see when you walked into the house? Answer: first, I want to correct an impression. When I got there, it is not like you walk into the house. There were people outside the gate. So I want to be clear as to that. I met his dad, for instance, outside the gate. There were several people there, and I can't say I saw any trace of blood personally. Again, I can't say I saw any trace of blood personally. Question: what was your observation as a lawyer when you walked in? There are some certain things you will notice. Answer: I noticed his lifeless body on the floor, uh, and they had put. I don't know what was in there was a bowl. I don't know what exactly it was. Cross-examination by OF Okuobi. OF Okuobi, witness: you said you were engaged in the area of music, and you also said that there were issues concerning royalties. You also told this court that you sent several emails to Malian Record. Which emails did you send? The court. That is not before the court. Who of your court, my lord? There is an oral testimony. Olaroke Adeogun, my lord, I object to this line of questioning. Once again, there are contractual issues. There are issues that are pending. They are before the Federal High Court, Lagos Division. Whoever could be, my lord, he brought the issue. The court, no, they brought questions that was asked. He answered the question that he was asked. If you were present in this court, the counsel that asked, I told him the court does not have jurisdiction and that is not before the court. Question. Are you aware from the engagements with Mohbad from November 2022 that Mohbad had direct access to his royalties? Are you aware? Answer, I would say Mohbad doesn't have direct access to his royalties because there's a pending action against the distributors on his works released while he was with Malians at the Federal High Court. If he had access to it, that matter would not have been instituted. Question, the distributors you are talking about, is it Orchard? Answer, yes. The court, who is Orchard? Answer, it is a music distribution company. Question, you are also not aware whether made certain withdrawals from that distribution account? Answer, he never made a withdrawal with Orchard. Question, you mentioned $72,000. I'll read this place again. Question, you are also not aware whether he made certain withdrawals from that distribution account? Answer, he never made a withdrawal from Orchard. Question, you mentioned that between the times of your engagement with Mohbad, he was healthy. Is that correct? Answer, correct. I believe he was. Question, the royalties from the songs that Mohbad released after Malian record, has it been released to the family or is it still being blocked? Answer, I understand that all the accounts he had are on post no debits, PND, until appropriate representatives are appointed. Question, will it be correct to say that Malian Music are intentionally holding out the royalties? Let me read this space again, it's very important. Question, the royalties from the songs that Mohbad released after Malian record, has it been released to the family or is it being blocked? Answer, I understand that all accounts he had are on post no debits until appropriate representatives are appointed. So this is for people saying that Wumi no wo Mohbad, all immunization funds are on post no debit. Answer, I'll be very clear as to this. I have not said as to the intentions of Malian Music. I have spoken as to what I was briefed on before the demise of the deceased, and that is what I have spoken to. Question, you mentioned in your cross-examination that it is not out of place for persons in the music industry to engage in what they engage in. What do you mean by that? Answer, except you phrase the question and then I will answer with clarity. What was the question during cross-examination? OF Okuobi, certain whether he was within his right frame of mind or under the influence as at the time he made that video that went viral. And you said that some persons in the music industry engage in what they engage in. What is that thing? Answer, specifically, artists are brand ambassadors to drink companies and the rest. Definitely, they indulge in drinking and the rest. That is what I meant by that. Question, if they engage in those things that they engage in, does that stop them from making good music? Answer, it doesn't. OF Okuobi, my lord, that will be all. Olaroke Adeogun, my lord, I pray for this witness to be discharged. Most grateful, my lord. The court, witness, you are hereby discharged. The court, inquest is further adjourned to 11th of April 2025 at 11 a.m. Court. That is the end of the CTC of lawyer Falade.
Well done, Mr. Dawa.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, people, you can send your requests if you want to come up here.
Shani, question and answer.
Oh yeah, we have to discuss.
Okay. So my first question to who is going to be answering our questions?
Shoot, we all are here now. Sister Cindy Day here. Benevolence, where did you run
No,
to?
no,
Where
no,
you come out?
Mr. Dawa, you read the CTC, so
It's all of us. We both listen to it, not just Mr. Dawa alone. Yeah.
Now my first question is to do with the what's it called? The report that was handed to Diosa. So why were they saying the report was handed to Wumi, and why didn't Baba confirm?
If you are
Pardon?
busy, can you maybe come back later because we are recording and the background noise.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, my question again is going to go according to the hospital report that was given that particular night and what was handed over to Daoza. So why was Daoza not saying anything about the report being handed over to him? That's my question.
Sorry, please, can you repeat the question again?
I said the report, the hospital report that was handed over to Daoza, why didn't he say the report was handed over to him instead of Baba keep mentioning Wumi's name and instigating the lawyer as well?
Let me just use my little knowledge in this.
Okay.
If we watch what that thing written, was it actually a doctor's report? No, it was just for the ambulance for them to be able to carry at least something for them to be able to carry the dead body around. It was handwritten, not something that was even typed. It doesn't have maybe I don't even know whether it has, and it was given to the ambulance, not that it was Darusha holding it. I hope we understand this thing now.
Mr. Dawa,
Mr. Dawa,
I also
you
want to
report
believe that whatever DC had said about the report is for the social media. The court didn't accuse Wumi of not giving the report to Josie. It's only on social media that you can hear that. Am I right, Mr. Dawa?
Yes,
Yeah, it was only on social media. I'm trying to switch this. Okay, good. It was only on social media. All these things now, these guys knew about the statements of this lawyer. Why are they coming on social media to be arguing blindly, causing a lot of commotion on social media? This thing was well explained in the CTC, and it was said in the midst of just a little Nigerians that are not even up to 100. But they came outside and they blocked this evidence from people. It's not even about they gave a note. Why was the nurse there with her lawyer and her mom that night? What was happening?
Mr. Dawa,
Why did she?
Sorry about that. Josie lied that by the time he got to Mohbad's house, the lawyer was there. But from what the lawyer said, the lawyer met Josie at the gate. So that means Josie was there before the lawyer got there. And Josie said, mo ti bá èèyàn bí 100, wọ́n ti pe lawyer. And contrary to what they said, that it was Wumi that called the lawyer. The lawyer confirmed that it was one Oluwaseun that called him and not Wumi. I mean, I'm speechless. So,
yeah, go on.
Oh, okay. Kudus, please go on. Kudus Network, please go on.
Did you mention that the person that called the lawyer, did he mention that also called him the PA or the name that was mentioned just now?
No. The person that even called the lawyer only saw the video online. Saw a video, that video online. It wasn't that. The person said he was trying to reach Darusha, but Darusha is not big. That he wanted to confirm. That's why he called the lawyer.
Okay, thank you.
Can we bring Rexy up? Professor, welcome. You came out to say one or two things. Please, you can unmute yourself, please.
Thank you, Mr. Lagbaja. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are, sir. Yes, you are.
Okay,
sir.
thank you for the Good job. You see, I think that most of what Josie said can actually be dismissed because we can see clearly that the majority of what he said on the social media are lies. You know, the issue of a Trump printed will, that was clearly a lie. The issue of the blood, as far as we are concerned, yeah, the pool of blood was just a lie. It was a very terrible lie because there was no way the number of people that were said to be in that house that day and the body was laid down on the floor. There was no way there will be a pool of blood somewhere and the body will still not be dripping of blood. And people in that house will not have seen that blood that he claimed he had seen. So it's not possible that the blood would just have ended just like that. And people that saw him in that sitting room or in that parlor or whatever they call it would not see blood. So, you know, Josie said a whole lot of things that were lies and all that. So, and I believe that the police that they took the nurse to that night uh, released them based on the fact that the father of the deceased said he was not interested in making or any case or anything. He wanted to bury his son. And according to what you said, you know, the lawyer was saying it in front of Josie to his face. So I will say that for now.
Okay,
Okay,
can
I want to, Sister Cindy, I want you to help us talk on why was there a nurse, a lawyer for the nurse that day? What could have happened that she needed a nurse that night? That her mom came that day, gone, 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 gone. Why would they be needing, why was her mom there? Why was she needing a nurse that night? I just want you to,
okay, you
oh
know,
yeah.
I mean, the nurse already admitted that maybe she gave the wrong injection or through the wrong route. She already admitted that, okay, I made a mistake. I'm going to need a lawyer to defend me, right? And if we can remember that Momi said, when they told Baba, this is the nurse, Baba said he wasn't interested in the nurse. Now, the lawyer said he went to the police station with the nurse and the nurse moms to report, and the lawyer as well. And from the police station, they called Baba, and Baba said he wants to go and bury him that night. So, which means I don't have business with whatever you have to tell me. I don't have business with the nurse.
And Sister Cindy, don't forget the police even suggested autopsy too, and he said no.
Can I say something in that with for that question Mr. Lagwaja asked? You see,
Please go on, sir.
immediately the deed was done, the nurse knew she was in trouble. She knew, she understood that she was in trouble and she had to do what she had to do. And that was why she needed to call. I think they said it was a family member that was a lawyer, called her family members for support. You know, I feel that after listening to the narratives on the social media and all that, that nurse got emboldened, even by Josie supporters, people like Lenchi, people, you know, people on this social media that got in touch with that girl. They were the one that gave her the kind of, you know, audacity that she, you know, she actually came with to the court when she eventually went to that corona court. But with her action on that day, she knew she was in trouble and she understood what she had done.
Exactly, that
Okay,
was,
okay.
she knew she was going to be in trouble, and that was why she needed a lawyer to defend her. Mr. Lagbaja, go ahead.
Okay. Now let's go to what really happened that day. Now the question now is this: did the lawyer have any authority over the release of Mohbad that day? Like, should we go and bury or should there be an autopsy? Did the lawyer at that point have any authority? Because we can hear him that when he got to the police station, they called the house, because that is exactly what we are now seeing. Who told them that, Ewa, we don't want, say, well, what has happened has happened? Was the father at home? They called him and he said, we want to go and bury. Is the police now guilty of negligence to start up a case that night, or to have followed them home that wow, somebody died, let us go or let us arrest this person, let us do this thing? Who was actually at fault that day? Now we can see that the police demanded an autopsy. The lawyer actually wanted an arrest of the nurse. The nurse had already called her lawyer. That means the lawyer present there, the nurse's lawyer present there, was to ensure that, yes, come and defend this person against any arrest or help us bail her out. To me, that is the meaning of why that nurse, that lawyer was there. Like, oh, maybe what it is so much like anywhere, Lenny. And she immediately called her parents and they came. They came. Why was it not just the mother that came to be begging? Why did she come with a lawyer? It showed that there was a legal thing that ought to have been handled by her, whether an arrest or that what is somole. That is what I see there. That's why is the mom with a lawyer. That's number one. Number two, they went to the police station because all this while people have been saying, oh, the police did not do anything. They went to the police station to do this thing. Baba said we wanted to sign, but they said, oh yeah, they went to the closest police station at Orchard Road. Not the one at Elasa. The one at Elasa was the one that Baba went to. But the one that they went for the arrest of this lady was the one at Orchard Road. And those ones wanted to arrest, but this man, they called home and they said, no, our fellows, oh, what do you have that you can use to go and bury him? Then, okay, as a lawyer, since that is what you want, the only thing I can assist you with that, even if this is the step you want to take, which hospital did you take him first to? They went to the to the hospital. The hospital is very clear. No hospital will accept a BID, an issuance of doctor's reports for a BID brought in death. No hospital in Lagos, no hospital in Nigeria want to do that because they can be sued for that because you admitted. That means you are admitting that, oh, this person died in your facility. That's the meaning of they releasing a doctor's. So, and that is why the lawyer was insisting, at least if they have to be carrying a corpse up and down Lagos, can we just have a written, just write it down. At least just write it down, something that can materialize. Now, the issue here is this. Was that document not enough for them to have put Mohbad in a morgue? It was very clear. A death certificate cannot be written that day. It is not, you collect it at a council. That is where you do it. You collect it at a council. And that lawyer was very intelligent to answer those questions. Who is saying is enough? Is enough? What's enough? Now, the thing here is this. I'm just asking my general panelists. In all the explanations of this lawyer now, who do we think is at fault this night? Was it the police? Is it the lawyer? Is it Darusha that was given a written document to that? Okay, you can use this document to take this guy around Lagos, at least to transport him to this thing, or the hurried burial that was to be conducted immediately. So my panelists, over to you.
But to my own understanding, the police actually made some mistakes there as well, because their job is to sort of secure everything going on. Well, where I live, if that kind of a thing should happen, the police will act first, which they didn't do. They might have given advice of an autopsy, but did they carry on with them? Did they do further investigation that particular night? Is the question we're asking now. So at that point, I'll look my JB.
I would say that Olokbama JB on the point that was there any blood? Did they see the corpse? Or what was reported at the police station? What was reported? This family wanted to bury. People die in Lagos, and it is not all deaths that the police will be going to the house. Oh, okay, what killed him? It is what you report at the police station that the police is going to investigate. It is what you report. So it depends on what was reported there. If you are reported like, oh, I'm listening.
Lagbaja, can you hear? Okay. But from
Yeah, I can
what
hear you.
you read from the lawyer went to the police station with the nurse and a lawyer. So I want to be very sure that they told them what happened, right? And also, I mean, for this, I would say we will blame the nurse, the police, and Josie as well. But I want to believe that the fact that the lawyer went to the police station to make a report with the nurse and the nurse lawyer, of course, they would have told them what happened. Oh, this was what happened, blah, 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 blah. But for the fact that Josie insisted that he wants to bury him that night, okay, that's fine. But I would blame the nurse and Josie as well.
The police.
You know what? There's a lot of people that you know didn't live to expectation in this case. There is a report that the nurse injected someone and the person died at the police station. Now the police insisted that the family has the right, they are the one that has the right to institute a case against the nurse. I guess that was what happened. But on calling Josie said he does not want to, you know, to set any case. He doesn't want to do any case. He wants to go and bury his son. I think the police could have, still taken charge of the case. That's what I think. But at the same time, what happened at that point happened, and they didn't take the charge of the situation because they believe the father said he wants to go and bury his son. He doesn't want
Professor,
to.
I want to ask you and Sister Cindy a question. I want to ask both of you a question. A thief comes into someone's house to steal. The thief was apprehended and was taken to the police station. Now, the person that was the house was owned by a pastor. The pastor went to the police station and said, "Hey, just release him." Does the police have a right to proceed a criminal matter when the person that owns the case says you should release?
The problem we have is I don't have the clear understanding of the law in Nigeria. I think in somewhere else, if that happens, the state will take charge because that is the crime is against the state, not against you as a person. You understand? Because if you allow the person to go, he's going to create. I mean, he's going to.
Do we have benevolence? Benevolence, please. If you are
I don't understand. We don't understand.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Of the law.
Okay. You are right in that sense. Stasinde wants to say something.
It wasn't as if somebody was injured, though. Somebody died in the process. I'm going to blame the police. As much as I'm going to blame Josie, I'm going to blame the police as well.
Whatever we say.
Hello, good morning. Can I say something?
We are saying it as laymen.
Okay, Tade Riel. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. So, I'm gonna say the police. I think they have protocol. So first thing we want to find out is in that situation, did they follow the protocol? But with your example, you're saying someone stole and all that. This is a lie. This is different. And I think when Cindy was saying something like, Boya want to see one report to nurse, I think you said the nurse was reported at a different police station than where they went to get the report, right?
Yes, according to the CTC, the police station they went was along Orchard Road. The one they went for the police report was Ilasa police station.
Okay, so maybe those one were not privy to what happened with the nurse because they took the nurse to a different police station. But at the same time, I think the police kind of dropped the ball. Because Ogbenyo wa to ti kú right? But the thing is, in that situation, in that situation, money protocol to need that to follow. So something we need to know in that situation, what is the police protocol? What is the process? What are they supposed to do? Did they do the right thing at the time, or they were negligent in their duty as well? So we really need to know.
But we need to understand something. Mommy Tade.
Yes, yeah.
If you look at what's happened now, the body was still at home when that lawyer went to the first police station. The body was still at home.
Okay.
Good. Now, it's now the where I'm going to now is that what was actually reported at this first hospital. Why did they need to call the people at home? Like, oh, what do you want us to do? Oh, you said somebody bite because of this nurse injected somebody. Okay, I'm listening, sir.
Please, let me say something. I'm going to get off now. Lagbaja, good afternoon, everybody. The answers to all these questions are online. There's a video where I think it's Benjamin Udeyi that actually talked about when there's a death and the families are saying no, they don't want to do anything. That yes, sometimes the police doesn't have any. Like the police won't go ahead with the case. So if we can find that video, although when I get off now, I would look for it and send to you, so we can all play it and understand the position of the police when it comes to
the
death.
police should have went to the house to assess the situation before they even determine,
okay, so let me just say this. Secondly, let me say this. Then secondly, Mr. Dawa, I sent you some things on WhatsApp. So that's what's his name? This T-pumping snare. I believe that's the show we're talking about. What he said about when they went to report at the police station and what Josie said. So we can marry it to what we just read now. Do you understand?
The one that said this is going to be a long ride, right?
Yes, that explained everything that happened at the police station. So it goes,
right.
So it explains this, like what the lawyer was saying. I mean, the CTC we just read. Do you get? So actually, Wumi never lied when she said it was Josie that said the nurse should go. So basically, it's not as if Josie said it to her physically. It was when they called. And if you listen to what the lawyer said in the CTC, he said they called the house and they said she should go. So basically, that's when, what's his name? Josie was saying, no, I want to bury. I don't want to do a case. I don't want anything. I just want to bury. So, Mr. Dawa, please check your WhatsApp. Thanks.
The lawyer confirmed it again that Josie wanted to bury Mo that night. And he lied when the chairman association, or who was that man that said he wanted to bring him that night? Bale, yes. And Josie said no, there was nothing like that. This lawyer just confirmed to us again that he wanted to bury him that night.
Another thing I wanted to add, was that the lawyer specifically said that they told him at the police station that he had no jurisdiction, that it has to be the family, and that was why they called the house and spoke to the father. That was why. So I think Precious wanted to say something.
But Lagbaja, I'm a bit confused because at some point, I don't know if we heard.
Please hold on, ma. Precious, are you there? Precious.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead. You wanted to say something.
Yes, I just wanted to say that the police has no business investigating anything. Once you told the nurse to go, you are not making a report of manslaughter or anything, and you said you are going to bury somebody. They don't have the resources to waste. It wasn't that they came there to make a report of the nurse. They brought the nurse there. The father said, let the nurse go. They wanted to bury the child this night. There's nothing the police can do at that stage. So please don't let us just attach emotion that somebody died. It's not that somebody was ill. Legally speaking, they have no business going to. Okay, if they go to the house to do what? You are not going to be able to prove anything against the nurse once you've buried the boy. Without autopsy. They asked for autopsy, you said no. They said, let's detain the nurse. You said no. So my own point is Joseph Aloba had been deceiving the public since he knew what he was doing. And I want this message to go out, what Mr. Dawa has read out today, because I believe a lot of them actually know the truth. They're just wicked people. Because at times people talk without logic. How can Wumi have death certificate? In what capacity? On the day somebody died? So please, this police thing is not something we should just be dilly-dallying over. It is Joseph Aloba's fault. He wanted to bury his son. And he did not want to arrest the nurse. There's nothing the police can do. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Please drop me.
Precious, I think I really agree with you. Given the limited resources of the police, the family members say, okay, I don't want to do anything. I don't want this to go forward. I'm going to close the case. Given the limited resources, I think police will go by what the family wants, especially if Mohbad report to us, boya he was from boya homicide. Nǹkan tó bá report from police, no, the police might go by. They will go with whatever was reported to them. So I kind of agree with you that given their limited resources, they will go by what the family, wanted at that time.
Have you ever had police investigate any Muslim's death? They don't, because Muslims are buried immediately. Once the body is buried, there is no investigation again. Because you have to be able to match your investigation, your findings with what you find in the body of the deceased. Once somebody is buried, that's it. You never hear Muslims talking of autopsy. You never hear them talking of, I want them to investigate somebody's death. They don't do it because they bury immediately. And for Joseph Aloba to have decided to bury that boy when they are Christians, I believe is very suspicious.
Precious, I'm going to disagree with you at a point, because my mother died a Muslim and autopsy was done on her. She wasn't very
because that's what you chose.
He wasn't very
immediately. No, because that's what the family wants.
I'm going to the reason I said I would disagree with you, because we have to be very, very careful when we choose our words, because you said no Muslim has ever been investigated.
I said, do you hear of Muslims being investigated? It's not common.
I've heard a lot, depending. Let's say depending on the family, not all Muslims.
About here, please.
And then maybe you live abroad, autopsy can be done immediately. In Nigeria, it takes time.
That's not what we're talking about now.
All right, no problem.
Yeah.
Can I just say that? I mean, I wasn't here when Mr. Lagbaja read what he read. I joined when he asked the last question.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I'm just going to chip in based on that, because if a death is not recorded if you are not going there to report it as sudden or suspicious, police don't have anything to do with it. It's up to you what you want to do. I mean, when my dad passed, he had a professor at OSUT, which is Ogun State University, who offered to do the embalmment. So we had to take him from Lagos to OSUT. So all we had to do was go to the police. We were taking the body to OSUT for embalmment. They gave us a report. So we could go through the express, and when we were stopped, we showed it to them. We didn't go there to report a suspicious death or a sudden death. So there was no need for them to investigate. And for Baba's case, I think if we go by what he said repeatedly, we seem to forget that Baba said he was in the car for 3 hours. Let's even, I don't believe that was 3 hours. Let's just accept that he said the truth there. You don't go to report your son who is just dead and you are sat in the car for 3 hours telling Darusha to go and sort whatever they've gone to the police station to do. So obviously he didn't go to report any suspicious death. From what we heard, the ambulance guy needed that report so that he could transport that body from where they were to Ikorodu Road. That was the reason they went there, and this is why he could sit in the car waiting for them to sort it out. So him coming out now to say like, he went there to report a dead, police didn't stop them. No, he didn't. according to him, he was in the car for 3 hours. So why would you be there for 3 hours and you're making it look like you went there urgently to report? So it's all like police. I won't blame police. It's the man who decided to bury. I mean, it was his choice. It was the boy passed and he didn't want to declare it suspicious. He wasn't ready to make it a suspicious death, and he decided to bury. But now he's coming out. And initially, after he was buried, he was calm, saying that this is what they told me. On the next day, when they said they not injected him, blah blah blah. What's that thing in Yoruba? That thing that God giveth, God taketh. How did he even say it? That he had to bury the boy that day. Until all these people got involved and was bringing narrative. Yeah, exactly. So until all these people enabled him and started bringing narrative to be saying, oh, this and that, and then he got emboldened and found an avenue to sort of fleece people of their money, and he used it well. So it was him, and then he found an opportunity to make money, and he's making money off them. Now, some of their eyes are opened. They're now crying foul that he duped them. He didn't dupe them. They opened that platform for him to see a way to make money. And him being a smart and cunning man, he just exploited that opportunity, and he made money for himself. That's what I see. But like I said, I haven't heard what Lagwaja read. Thank you.
Yes, let me just add my 50 pence. So I agree very much with what Escapade and Precious are saying. I think there's something called a disclosure. When you make a disclosure, okay, don't worry. Let me forget about it. I'm in the nail shop. Let me forget about it. If it's too noisy, don't worry, guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because of those that will listen to it later. Lagbaja, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Lagbaja is watching.
So another thing I want to talk about, it's about the will. They asked the lawyer if Mohbad had any wills, and he said no. But Baba said one on paint, right? That was what he said. One ton painty that Mohbad didn't sign. He had the will, and it was Liam's name that was on that will. So what can we say to this one now?
It's all lies.
Absolutely everything he said was a lie. Everything he said, everything Josie said, everything. Josie Paro, I don't know. I don't really understand.
Sister Cindy, I want us to remember something. That time that this incident happened, Senor Moluko was saying something, and I think this is what this man is thinking a will is. She was saying something about Mohbad's bank statements and things like that. Like the next of kin on the stuff was even Adura. It was even Adura and Blessing, something like that. And now, when you want to open a bank account, you'll be given a KYC form, and you'll be listing your next of kin. I think what this man is thinking, like, account of mine. I think that's what he's thinking is a will. That's what I just think. But saying that there's a will submitted to a probate office about Mohbad's estate, thank God the lawyer has said it. There's nothing like that. He's the manager of this guy. As I said, he's the legal person of this guy, and there's nothing like that. Nothing existed like that in his own presence. So that's what I just want to say. If any other person wants anything.
Okay. Do you also notice? I'm sorry. If anybody wants to talk, but let me say this real quick. When Sanshitu was when he was asking Mohbad's lawyer questions, I don't know. The first questions he asked was about Mohbad's reality. Can we now see the reason why Josie employed Sanshitu? It wasn't because he wants to know the cause of death. It wasn't because he wants to know what killed Mohbad or what pied Mohbad. It was because of royalties. And that was the only questions Sanshitu was asking the lawyer. So for those of you supporting Josie, thinking, oh, you guys employed the lawyer to to unravel the cause of death of Mohbad, can you now see that the only reason he employed that man was because he wanted to get his son royalty? And another thing I noticed was Sanshitu was trying to indict Wumi by asking the lawyer, oh, who do you think should take Mohbad to the hospital? As if Mohbad was a baby or a toddler who couldn't do anything or who couldn't talk. At least the nurse said by the time he got to the house, he spoke to Mohbad, and Mohbad was even asking him about the injection she wanted to give him. Like, it was trying to indict Wumi. Let's just get this lady out of the way so that we can get all the royalties. Josie's team, go and sit down. Teba record the kini. Go and listen to it later. That was the only thing Sanshitu was all about. And Josie will care about what pied his son. He only wants to get the royalty. That was the first question Sanshitu asked. The contract, the royalties. That was the only thing the first thing he asked the lawyer in the coroner inquest. The reason for coroner inquest is to unravel the cause of death, not for the royalty. I was surprised when he was.
Sister Cindy, do you know why I'm going to accept everything you said 200%, not even 100%, sisters? The flow of questions before Sanshitu stepped in was what happened in that day Mohbad died. That was what ended the discussion, that lawyer before Sanshitu. Then when Sanshitu came, he changed the direction of the question to royalty issue. He just changed all the question was, they were asking him, oh, I met this guy at the gate, I did this thing, I was pleading with this man. Then the next question that he came with was about, was there a signed contract, the royalties, are there pending royalties? Now, if from everything you said just now, whoever is thinking that this case is about what by Mohbad, wallahi, you people are wrong. This case is now about
I won't even
how
blame
can we get.
I won't blame him because the reason why he was employed is to get the royalty. And that's the only thing he was concerned about at the coroner inquest. In court, employ me feeling here, and that's what I'm going to do.
Cindy,
Go ahead, sir.
you know what? Josie knows what by his son. He knows it was the nurse that injected. So there was no issue about cause of death or whatever. That's just by the way. The main thing is what you have said. Get the reality and find a way to indict me. Whether either way, just find a way to pin something on her so that she can be out of the way. Now, I also wanted to point out something. The lawyer clearly stated that he had a very good relationship, personal relationship with Mohbad, and he usually confides in him, talks to him about things that relate to him, his personal situations. But he clearly stated that he did not tell him any secret that maybe he could not discuss with his father or his parents or his family or friends. If Mohbad, in this case, was suspicious of his son or his wife, don't you think there would have been time that he would have discussed it with his lawyer, even if he could not discuss it with anybody?
Definitely. And to those, I'm sorry I have to say this, to those of you that used to see Mohbad like he was an angel, when they asked the lawyer about Mohbad, he said he had a flawed past and he was trying to walk towards it, to get better. Like, maybe he lived a reckless life. I don't want to say too much about it. I'm really sorry I have to talk about this. It wasn't like Mohbad was an angel like the other side used to claim. Omoda, Danny, Koke, everybody lonely mistake here. If you think this guy was an angel, I don't understand. I don't understand, because everything you guys want to talk about is about Wumi, Omo Burukuni, Omo Kinikokini, Omo Kokinkokini. But Wumi tried. I mean, she really tried to cover up everything. Like, by the time our son will grow, I don't want him to listen to all this about his father.
Sister Cindy, you don't need to go too far. You know, we've said something. We said, Baba said something to he stated this thing in front of Riyomi. We have been challenging this man for the past 2 years. Nǹkan tó mú Wùmí tí ò gbálé bàbá ẹ̀ lọ, tí ò gbálé ìyá ẹ̀ lọ, kò gba ọ̀dọ̀ Kàrímọ́ lọ, tó jẹ́ pé hòtẹ́ẹ̀lì ló lọ, ó wá fẹjọ́ sùn yín pé kẹ́ wá bá òun settle. Kí ló fàjà láàrin wọn? If you think Mohbad is so we won't talk about it though, because this is something between husband and wife. But if you are thinking your son is an angel, why are you not talking about nǹkan tó fà tó fi lọ sùn hòtẹ́ẹ̀lì tó lọ fi sùn hòtẹ́ẹ̀lì lélẹ̀? Why don't you talk about it? Continue, ma.
I want us to not deceive ourselves on this platform. You know, I'm not somebody that will normally speak. I just look from afar from the past 2 years. These people are not seeking justice. There's nothing like J4M. Justice is about truth, fairness. The moment your whole mission is to pin the death on somebody, that's not justice you are seeking. So all of these people, let's not deceive ourselves. They're not seeking justice. If you are seeking justice, you want to know the truth, you are not biased, you must have an open mind, and you'll be able to back up all that you say with evidences. These people will come, imagine things, throw them out. Joseph will come, put out lies, and they run with it. These people are delusional. And I'm very sorry to say, from the beginning, some people planted people in the J4M. And the whole mission is to make it as difficult as possible for Mohbad's royalties to be paid. Most of the money they are throwing all over the place, their money is given to them by their sponsors. There's nothing like seeking for justice. All these people want is for the thing to be pinned on Wumi, who is intelligent, she's a graduate, she has knowledge of music industry, so you can't cheat her husband. But if it is the father that we go for anything they give the man will be okay with it. So the mission from the beginning had been get this lady off. All this attack on Iyabu is because of Wumi. They don't want any strong figure that will back Wumi. What person seeks for justice and the police will arrest people and then you go bail all of them out? Is that seeking justice? So please, let's not deceive ourselves. I believe those people are there just making money and they too are scamming those donating. Let's not deceive ourselves that anybody is seeking justice, please. Because it is a straightforward case unless you have dementia. A nurse gave somebody injection, the guy died. Why are they not talking about the nurse? What kind of justice will you be looking for and you don't want to investigate the nurse? What sort of justice are you looking for that you don't want to investigate those that gave him problems before he died? I don't need to be present in a place for me to deal with somebody. And you don't want to refer to the bullying? How can you say you are looking for justice? So please, all this J4M thing, that's why they keep prolonging it. They can do it for 10 years if they want. But Joseph Aloba, their leader, knows what killed his son. Who seeks for justice and then makes a family member the head of that justice movement? Why will you pick somebody in the family? Isn't everybody not supposed to be a suspect? So these people, we keep going on and on trying to explain things to them. I don't think they don't know what they're doing. Some of them are ignorant, but most of them know what they're doing. The moment you find out that all you're about is that death be pinned on just one person, that is not seeking justice anymore. Thank you.
Escapade. Escapade, are you there? You want to say something?
Let the next person go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prof.
Okay, let me just summarize this thing for Escapade. So I think he didn't. Let me just have a brief summary about it. So now, the CTC of Lawyer Falade is it's covered about 28 pages. Now, what we have now is that this guy said he got to the house around. He was told around 8 p.m. by Sheung, who happens to be the manager of Belash Mother. That one wanted to connect Darusha when he saw online that Mohbad had passed. So he wanted to get more information about that. Was why he called Falade. So it was when Falade heard. He now left his house at Lekki Phase 1 to Orchid. He said there was traffic and he got there around 9:30, 10. So getting there, he met Baba around the gate, that there were hundreds of people outside, inside, and things like that. The place was crowded. But he met Baba at the gate. And somebody introduced that this is Baba. So from there, he met the nurse, the nurse's lawyer, and the nurse's mother. He made inquiries of what happened, and he said, you guys have not gone to the station. Oh yeah, he took all of them, those ones, to the station. Now at the station, the policemen were advising them like, in such a case, they have to do autopsy. They now called home. They now put a call to the house. They now said, no, we want to go and bury. Okay, then they came back home. And from there, he asked the questions of, have they gone to the first hospital? They said no. He went there together with Darusha, and the nurse also was there, the nurse, the lawyer, and the mom. And those ones didn't want to give any doctor's report, but they wrote something down. He was asking them at home, okay, now that you want to go and carry Mohbad for burial, do you have anything from the hospital? They said no. Okay, let me get something from this hospital that you can use. So he went and pleaded with them that even if it is a written document, they gave it to him. One, they asked him what was written in the document. He said it was handwritten. That's number one. Number two, it contained the name, the time he was brought to their facility, the time he was confirmed that he's dead, and the reason, the cause of death there was written as unknown. Then he got back home. He was still pleading with the father. The father said they are burying him immediately. So they proceeded. They asked him, at what time did you terminate your presence there? He said it was when they were taking him. He said, I think Ikorodu, because the man said they wanted to bury him immediately. And that document was given to Darusha, that written document for the ambulance, not for police, not for mortuary. It was given for the ambulance that is going to carry the corpse. That written document. It shows that it's an unofficial document. It was handwritten by whosoever. I don't know who wrote it, but it was handed to them by Kuramed Hospital. Okay, is there any other thing? So the other questions were focused on. He also said that Malian Records was incorporated. It was registered year 2020, but Mohbad said there was no contract, but he has started being with Malian Records since 2019. So if you check those dates, how can you be registered in a company that was not even registered? What contract are you signing? So that the man was just very emphatic that if you are saying you want to terminate something, you are not. There's nothing to terminate. He kept on saying that there was no contract and there is nothing to terminate. If you are telling us that Naira Marley was interviewed before him, that Naira Marley was saying that in his contract he has to release at least 4 albums. He now said there was no contract. So why are you even saying that there's a term of agreement in a contract that Mohbad told him that he doesn't have any contract with Malian Records and there's nothing to even terminate. That were there pending royalties? He said yes. The Malian Record didn't reply their emails, didn't do anything. It was when they now copied the emails they were sending to the Malian Records, they copied a distribution company called Orchard. That was when the distribution company replied, and they asked him a question about did Mohbad have access to funds from his royalties on the Orchard distribution company. He said Mohbad never withdrew any amount from that Orchard this thing. They talked about the will also. They said there is nothing like that. He has no knowledge about that. He talked about how long he has known Mohbad. He said just a few months before his demise. He talked about the bullying aspect also, that yes, Mohbad sustained injuries, told him about the injuries. He was not in the country then. That in fact, that the police effected about 2 arrests of Sam Larry, but they didn't meet in her home. He's not aware of a counter petition, but he knows that after Mohbad submitted the petition, he went to 3 tours, one in Kenya, one in UK, and one in Cyprus. Is there any other thing I didn't say? Cindy, is there any other thing I didn't say?
So, was this? So this was his testimony at the inquest.
Yes, please.
And everybody just seemed to like skip the details of what he said because I'm just sharing this for the first time. And what I'll just say is that the guy deserves a pay rise because he's done everything a lawyer should do. He's even added what the father should do to what.
Oh, sorry. And lastly, he said that all the royalties from immortalization, all the songs he recorded after the Malian records, that all those accounts have been placed on post no debit.
So now them saying recently that Wumi is the one spending, it didn't make sense that Wumi would go into immunization and be spending mobile money anyway. But at least
The lawyer also said, sorry, Escape, the lawyer also said he met Josie at the gate.
Yes, I was going to say that as against Josie saying that he met them.
Yeah, and he said, sorry. And lastly, he said he saw the corpse and there was no trace of blood.
You see, so if that body was.
But he said he saw the bowl of salt. Yeah, he said he saw the bowl of salt on his chest.
Yeah, and that one is just they call it embalming and it's nothing. And even I think people misunderstand what embalmment. Embalmment is coming. I've been involved before when my dad passed. Embalmment is to keep the body. You know why you do lying in state, like you want to bury, so that they restructure the face, the body, and all those things to keep the body in a state that the people can still view it. It is not to prepare or what's this word now? Or to keep a body ready for embalmment. Once and ready for autopsy, because when you do embalmment, they take liquid out, they pump in fluid, they basically tamper with the body. But people saying, oh, if they had embalmed the body, maybe, if they had embalmed the body, toxicology would have been impossible anyway, because all the fluid would have gone, they would have tampered with the body. Even autopsy, because there would have been incisions, there's a way they take out the fluid, you've seen holes on the body, I've seen it before. So even autopsy would have not been accurate if a body was embalmed. So embalmment is mainly to keep a body like in a state that it can still be viewed when they want to bury. So now going back to the lawyer did exactly what he should do and even more. When they got the report for them, went to the police station, went to the hospital, met Baba there, called Baba, okay, this is the decision, what should we do? Baba is insisted that he wanted to bury. This one is key, and it's like what we've been saying here, right? Especially on this platform and on the people on Wumi's side, this thing sort of like corroborated everything that we've been saying. It's like we could see what could have happened. Like, okay, maybe this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. This guy's testimony has sort of filled in that gap. Okay, there was a report that was collected. Wumi didn't collect it. I collected it. It was handwritten. I called the father. The father insisted on burying. I gave them this so that they could transport the body. Gave it to the ambulance. Gave it to Darusha for the ambulance. So it's sort of, when they're saying Wumi collected the whatever, how can Wumi collect it and not give it to you? Because even at that point, the time they were there, the hospital, in that rush and the whole thing that happened, they were rushing, take the body away, blah, blah, blah. They wouldn't have waited to collect anything. But the Baba kept going back to say, well, she had the thing, and he saw him struggling to get it. You were in your car for 3 hours. Let's believe you. You were in your car for 3 hours. I don't think Wumi went to that station with them, Darusha. She probably was in that same car with you, or in the car behind. So why would you then say, Wumi saw you struggling to try and get... Did Wumi know what you went to do at police station? Did she know what you went to report? If you're in the car, you obviously did not go to report a suspicious death. You were not angry enough. You were not moved enough to rush out of the car, get into this. You can even bring the police, come and see this body. You are saying you saw pool of blood. You would have been so angry and so moved that they will see you in action, not you sitting in the car, telling them to go inside. Darusha to go inside and collect whatever you went there for. So all of these things is now showing that this man has been lied all along from the beginning. And I hope that they will see all these CTCs and read it. I mean, this is it's a long shot that they will read the CTC with open mind, because I know that will not happen. They will still read that CTC and tell you that this person is lying against Baba. Oh, it wasn't handwritten, it was typed. They will even tell you they emailed it to Wumi's email. They are so fully that sometimes I wonder if they sit down and think about, they listen to themselves, So like I said, this guy he deserves a pay rise. He's done anything a lawyer would do. And he's even done more. He's even got involved. He got to a point of getting involved in the family matter, which some lawyers would not do. He did that, and he should be praised for it. But like I said, I'm wondering how this missed the whole inquest thing, because nobody ever told us what the man said. And it's because it's that side that is always going there. They know the things they want to come back to give to the public. They will sift it and remove the ones that are in favor of Wumi, and then they will just embellish the ones that they think would sort of put Wumi in trouble. Because I don't know how else you want to describe this now. This testimony sort of, Baba was there before him. Baba said he met all of them there. They were preparing the body for burial. He met Imam. He met this. He met that. So this guy actually met him there. He was introduced to the man.
The most surprising thing is that Baba also met the nurse.
You see. So
the nurse was there at that point with her lawyer and her mom.
You see. So him saying that is even silly for them to even. They should slap him on that side that you are saying that you did not set your eyes on the nurse. How could that be possible? The nurse was there. They told you it was injected. The nurse should be the first person you are looking for. Come here. What happened? Blah blah blah. And you are so happy to say so that you support the silly narrative that people are pushing. Oh, I never saw the noise. Noise. Who should you be looking for? You saw blood. Should you not be going to the body? Like I said before, if you go in your car and you see water, the first thing you'll be checking is, oh, did I leave the windows down? Did it rain? You want to know how the water got there. Now your son is dead. You are saying you saw a pool of blood. The next thing would be his body. Where did that blood come out from his body? If you are not able to tell us that you didn't see any pool of blood, you are lying. Because it is natural instinct. If you see pool of blood, if your son comes and you see blood on his body, the next thing you are looking for, where did this blood come from? You want to see where is it blood, is it ketchup, or is it like another person's blood that rubbed off on their body? You will check out their body. Where is this from? Not you telling us, you can't tell us where the blood came out from, but you are saying you saw blood, but you saw the body. So why are you trying to fool? But again, when people have used this opportunity to make money, and the only way the money can keep flowing is if they keep enabling the man, it prolongs the issue, it brings a narrative, they have something to discuss, they have a way to say, let us contribute money to do this and that. They'll keep making that money. And they enabled him initially because, I keep saying this because when the next day, when Mohbad was buried, they asked him what happened. They told exactly what Wumi said. Oh, they said the nurse came, he not did this, blah, blah, blah. Ojo Tabari bin Wale, blah, until they came up, all of these silly people started coming up with, oh, maybe the DNA, the father, oh, the wife is keeping the money. You know, when he said that, he also did end by saying he not received, I don't know if it's 100,000 or 200,000 from Mohbad before, that anytime he wants to send him money, they use Wumi's account to send him the money. He said those things, but then these people lied on that to sort of expand the whole thing, and the man saw an opportunity to make money. He just kept going along until he's now caught in the web now. He's now in trouble because some of them, their eyes are now opening. But they will not agree with us because to them, it is a game. It is win or lose. And it shouldn't be. It is about how Mohbad died. If they not injected him, that's how he died. We should both be able to agree on that. But them agreeing with us that this is what happened, they see it as they're losing. It's like a game, win or lose, and it shouldn't be that way. This is why, even with all the things they are saying, they will still not come and accept that, oh, this girl didn't do it, the nurse injected him. The nurse that called the lawyer, she knew she'd done something wrong now. Why would she call the lawyer and her mom? Probably to come and start appeasing with the man, begging the man, oh, this is how it happened, though, please, oh, it wasn't deliberate. But the man was not interested, he wanted to bury. Because she knew she did something. Why would you be calling your lawyer and your mom to come there if you know you haven't done something wrong? It may not have been deliberate, but it was your mistake. He reacted, and she gave that testimony in court, which to me is a confession. I mean, you are looking for what killed somebody, and somebody is saying, oh, I injected him, he reacted, the reaction caused his death. It's a confession. So why are we still on this matter trying to look for other things to now, the people that are showing DNA is a motive are now saying DNA is not their business, it's a family matter. But again, they will not want to accept that. They will not want to accept that we were right, because to them it's like they have lost. And so this is the situation we are in. So we just leave them in their folly and just cash cruise with them. This lawyer has done everything a lawyer should do. Why would you have a contract of 2019 where the company that the contract is on is registered in 2020? That's a void contract initially from the beginning. It's void, and it was good for the lawyer to spot it and say, no, this is not a contract. You know, but they are not going to sit back and listen. Naira Marley came there, was citing us of rubbish. Mohbad withdrew $70,000. How can your artist have access to that kind of money? Okay, show us proof. We didn't see any proof. But because, again, it is either Wumi is guilty or not. Or it's either Wumi is guilty or not. So this is why they were happy with the Naira Marley's whatever nonsense he did. Again, the star witness, they will say is the driver. Because the driver said 3 people went out of the house in the night, right? But they also forget that the man rubbished all of Prime Boy's testimony that, of course, Prime Boy knew that the glass was broken. That's why he ran. The driver said that it was Wumi that was actually telling Mohbad not to fight his friend. You know, that was what caused the argument that why is he supporting Prime Boy. All of these bits, they took it out because it was everything the driver said was as Wumi said it. The only part they are saying 3 people went out, and they mentioned this thing before, because even when Spending and Wumi were having that back and forth on Instagram, Wumi was saying, oh, I didn't even know you went out, because Spending was saying, oh, that he cared about his friend because he was the one, and some people that went out at night to get whatever they gave Wumi to rub on the hand. Wumi said, I didn't even know you were part of those. So they were already established that 3 people went out that night. And now they're saying the driver has brought a new lead, a new lead to the matter. He's a star witness. That Ishak or whatever. Oh, the driver is a star witness. They have brought a new lead, but it's everything else that has been said. They threw the body. They wanted to throw the body in the water. He said no, it didn't happen. Everything else was against what but they ignored all those ones, and they said 3 people went out, which was already established when they were having that conversation on Instagram. Let me let other people speak. But that lawyer has done, he deserves a pay rise. He's done everything a lawyer should do, and even done something that the father should be doing, because he got involved even in the family matter just to try and get things moving that night. You know, if they can't, I can't blame him. It's the father that messed up. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good day to everyone. Mr. Lagwaja, I greet you, sir. And I greet everybody out there. Thank you for the, what is it called? Message today, Mr. Lagwaja, the CCT of the lawyer. Anyway, I don't have much to say about it, though. I just want to support what Escapade has said. Firstly, I mean, Mr. Joseph is, it's just Mr. Joseph. And I think whenever they call him Baba, he feels he's important on their side over there. So that's why they keep shouting, hey, Baba, Baba, Baba. And I don't think he's old enough to even father anybody on this platform. So, so I don't feel, I always don't like calling him Baba, or feel like the highest we can call him is Baba Mohbad, if we can call him by his name, because that is what is coming. That thing is getting over him and is feeling too important. Though he has met his water alone, and we all knew that this day is coming and nothing has happened yet. It's just starting. So Josie is just, it's just who Josie is, so we are not surprised. Anyway, what I would just say is that his first interview, he affirmed it when they asked him, what do you think by your son? His very, very first interview with that soldier boy, he said he was informed that a nurse, gave him injection and he reacted to that injection. That was what he said. And then, he didn't mention anything else. So it was later when people started bringing series of, that's when he started dancing to it, and he realized that this is an avenue to make money. So you could see even the court, there are some things that doesn't even go beyond this TikTok. All these, they are noodles, all these, they are full of blood, all these things. This thing, the court doesn't even, because they wrote their, what is it called, at the station, and they transfer everything to the inquest. They saw everything Josie wrote. They saw that there is nothing like pool of blood, noodles or whatever inside, So they go by what they wrote, their first statement. That is what they go by, because they knew any other thing that comes, it's just a kind of manipulation. So Josie wrote his, what is it called? Statement, and he didn't put all these things, and they affirm it on their side that all what he wrote at the police station, because I was on the line while they were playing one of their records from their side, that he fumbled, he didn't write this, he didn't write this, he didn't write it. That's where they should know that every other thing that they started saying is all lies from the pit of hell. So Josie said it himself that truly, what is it called? He's been bullied in his first interview by what is it called? Sammy and NM and Co. But then Josie don't even know the meaning of bully. He doesn't even know anything like harassment. He just, that's why he said, because they are his boss, they can treat him anyhow, and that's why I say one color money. Because this, he doesn't. So it was through this TikTok now that Josie is now realizing that there is something called bully, there is something called harassment, there is something called all these things. So Josie is just who he is. So we could see they've treated him like their small god, and now, he's completely down now. And this is just the genesis. It's just starting. So I know all these things that Mr. Lagbaja read out this morning, they all knew this. They know everything. They knew that Josie was informed even before anyone about the demise of his son. They knew that the lawyer met Josie there. They knew that Josie is lying, that Josie has been informed before they even left the hospital. They knew that there is no anywhere buy certificate. They knew all this. He said it himself. They knew that Josie saw the nurse. They know. They knew that Josie was the one, because it's not coming from one person, two people or three people. They knew that Josie was the architect that asked them to release the nurse. Why the wife and others were angry. They knew, and their family, that Jose is being told to make sure that he shouldn't bury that guy that day, that they should, maybe one or two people told him about autopsy. If at all he didn't know anything about it, he should be the one that should ask question that what should we do now? That this boy cannot just go like this. He needs to know something, because you know what he was going through while he was alive. So he knew all this. But because of that single land, that is the mentality of a wicked, poor, and ingratitude so-called father. Because of maybe a plot or two plots of land, he went ahead and rushed to claim that space and some other little things. That is just it. So he didn't know that the issue will come to this land. You know, when he now see that opportunity, and some people let him realize that, come, people like the fake African TV, or what did he call himself? When they realize and let him know that, come, money is coming from here, they brought some that he could see. And Jose himself, he was a kind of you know, somebody that is not being truthful before. Is like you know. So you see that this is an opportunity. So any reasonable person should go back to his very first interview. Then you will know and conclude the kind of person this so-called man is. You will know somebody that just lost a precious child, a child that is feeding you, a child that is clothing you, and you sat comfortably talking about irrelevant, your own personal gain. So we shouldn't be surprised in going through all these routes and, you know, making every kind of money, you know, from this. That is it. A father that can go ahead and sign 3070, you know, just barely a week before the demise of your son. And, you know, they start, and when he now realized that this guy does not have anything to offer him, he realized that African TV himself is even poorer than him. Somebody that can come to your house and, you know, eat cocoyam with you, and he realized that, oh no, nothing is coming from this plan. Jose is not ready to relate with whoever cannot feed his bill or give him money. So that's why he gets rid of African TV or whatever. So all these things, this man knew. And that's why when he was trying to lie against the lawyer, and the lawyer stood up and tried to sue him, he immediately he kept quiet and he reversed all what he has been saying. So we are not surprised. We are watching. That's why for some days now I'm just watching the way things are unfolding. You know, we know these days will come. We knew that this day will come, and Jose is going to oh, he hasn't seen anything. You know, some of his, you know, supporters are still walking behind the closed door. They don't want to come out that we are the one behind all this thing. When they come out fully with Jose, I don't know. And that is their own part. The part of God is still there. When God will now reward him of what he has put this little child and his mom to, the kind of lies. How will a 50-something years old man come on social media and lie, daylight robbery, lie against your daughter-in-law, somebody you went to prostrate in her parents' house, somebody that you said it yourself, you were the one praying for them to have that child, and you brought water, brought this and this lady took you like her own father, like her best friend.